So everybody, Mr. Brown here with the Choose Well Program podcast. If you do not know, I have several podcasts. I do one called Ask Mr. Brown. I do one called The Mr. Brown Show. I have one called Connecting Faith and Life. And this, the Choose Well Program podcast. Well, Ask Mr. Brown was a podcast and it became a segment. Now it's a podcast again, but I also do a segment called Ask Mr. Brown Kids Edition, where I give my perspective on kids' questions as well. Well, in this episode and two other episodes, I sat down with Stephanie Feagin and she kind of put me in the hot seat. And if you watch the video, she's kind of taller than me in the seat too, so I feel like I'm answering her questions. But I'm answering questions that she had about who I am, how I got started, and the Choose Well Program podcast, or Choose Well Program in general, and the podcast, why we do what we do. So in this first episode, we're going to talk about where I'm from, how I got started, and a few other things about me and the Choose Well Program. So please check it out. Listen, it's starting right now. Remember Miss Feagin, Mrs. Feagin, Miss Feagin?
Miss Feagin.
Miss Feagin, Stephanie. And we've worked together for several years. We've done some other podcasts for the Choose Well Program. And today I'm in the hot seat. I think you're taller than me. Let me fix my seat. There we go. I'm taller than you now.
It's only because this chair's a little high. It would not be happening if we were standing up.
You got some questions for me. I got some answers from my perspective. So let's go. What questions you got?
Let's start off with, where are you from? Where the heck? On this map.
Yeah, that is a beautiful map.
Gorgeous map. Where are you from?
I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin originally. I lived in St. Louis, Missouri for quite a bit of time. In 2001, I moved there. But I'm born and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And yes, I do like the Bucks. I like Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm not a Green Bay Packer fan. I was a Brett Favre fan. Those are the number one questions I get when people say where you're from, Milwaukee. Do you like the Bucks? You like the Packers? So those are my answers.
So then do you like the snow and the cold? Because isn't that a staple in Milwaukee?
No, I do not like the cold. I do not like the snow. I like to visit the snow. The best part of the snow is when you can play in it and you don't have to drive in it. And the best part of snow is when it's beautiful once it has snowed, it's been plowed, it's been shoveled, and the sun comes out. It's beautiful to look at.
Agreed.
But outside of that, nah, I'm done.
And we had Snowmageddon a couple years ago, back in 2019.
And we deal with it every day because we lost a tree that provided a lot of shade for us.
I literally stayed in the house for a good 2 or 3 days because I'm like, not driving in that. I don't want to die today.
That day I was supposed to go to the airport because my mom had passed away. I was supposed to go to the airport to go back to Milwaukee. I couldn't get out. So I stayed a couple extra days and got to play with the kids in the snow. Well, the funny thing is I got started speaking in public schools through a pregnancy testing center. They actually asked me to come help teach abstinence education in public schools. I went and helped out, and I really enjoyed it. Talking to junior high school students about sex is fun.
I don't know how many people would agree with you on that one, but yes.
Only because I was able to help them make some better choices. The idea that I'm willing to talk openly about stuff. Let's be open and honest about sex. You guys know what sex is. Sometimes when you bring up stuff, kids go smirking and laughing, and they know they're watching YouTube. They're watching stuff. These kids who have cell phones are watching porn on their devices, so they think they know what sex is, but they don't know the whole truth. And so I wasn't one saying, hey, don't. I was saying, hey, the best choice I think is to wait till you're married. That was the best choice. We talk about all the ideas out there, but I was open and honest about it. And I would tell my story too about no one told me the facts and the stuff I thought that was wrong. So I enjoyed that. But in the midst of that, I realized that kids need help more than just that one area of sex. They need help with, drugs, alcohol, self-confidence, just all kind of choices. So then through that, Hello, Mr. Brown was born.
Do you ever get discouraged, and how do you deal with that?
Yes, I get discouraged, get sometimes depressed. I remember one time, and this can go back, this was years ago, and I was single. And I was still working with students. I worked after school program. I had a job. And at that time, I was living in what I called my no-bedroom apartment.
No bedroom?
They have a bedroom. It was a studio apartment.
Yeah, I had one of those.
Yeah, I called it a no-bedroom apartment. So it was very small, too. So you walk in. That was my living room. That's all my pull-out couch was. You walk out of a small closet, bathroom, and a kitchen. The kitchen was so small, somebody bought me a big turkey for Thanksgiving. It wouldn't even fit it was that small, right? It's a small place. So it was a Saturday. I woke up, spending my day, and this was before everybody had cell phones and everybody had social media. It's before social media, and it was about 1:00 in the afternoon, and I hadn't spoken to a human person the entire day. I hadn't said hi. I hadn't opened my mouth to talk to anybody, right? And I start feeling like, man, your life sucks. This is Saturday. You ain't got nothing to do. You're horrible. Like, I start feeling like just all this inner, just whatever, right? And then I thought, go do something for somebody else. Like, and I thought, okay, I'll go to community center. And there's a bunch of kids there. I don't have dads, want people play. So I went to community center, started playing with kids. Next thing you know, I'm playing basketball. Kids are following me around, trying to take the ball from me. One of the kids said, Mr. Brown, what you doing? You don't work today. I said, no, I just came hang out with y'all. So I went out to invest in somebody else, and it made me feel so much better about myself because it wasn't about me. You know what I mean? So I think giving helped me get out of it. So that was a great example for me to get out my own funk, to go do something for somebody else, go serve somebody else, got me out my funk that day. But even now, you know, sometimes I start to thinking too much about life and things that go wrong, things that are problems. I have to look for the good. I have to get myself out of that funk and look for the good. I think we live in such a culture now where everything is instant gratification. Everything is right now. We want results. And if we don't get them, we're down. And we don't take time to really think about what we're grateful for. I think sometimes we compare ourselves to other people. And I think if we stop comparing ourselves to people, like, you can always find somebody you think is worse than you or somebody you think is better off than you are. So I have to stop comparing myself to people. But I remember one day I was at Prairie Elementary School playing tetherball at recess. It was lunchtime. And I'm the reigning tetherball champion at Prairie Elementary School. It is a K through third grade school. Those kids can't hang with me. So anyway, I'm playing tetherball, and I wish I had video. I wish I had find it. But there's a bunch of kids circling around me, around the tetherball, and everybody's going, Mr. Brown, and I'm beating these kids. I'm not letting kids win, right? I'm winning. And I thought to myself in that moment, you have the moment where you like a pause in time. You just think, what are you doing? I had that thought, like, what in the world? You are a grown man. It is 12 o'clock, middle of the day, and you're beating little kids at tetherball. Shouldn't you be in corporate America somewhere, making big deals, making a lot of money, driving a fancy car? The answer for me was no. I have friends that do that. I have friends that are millionaires that make a whole lot more money than I do. But that's them. That's not me. Yeah. And I can only be me. I can only be the best successful version of myself I can be. So that's what I choose to do. Would I like to drive a nicer car? Would I like to make more money? Probably. But I'm not going to do the expense of who I am and what I think what God has called me to do. What is mine to do? That's what I need to do. So for me, that's where I have my confidence. It's not in what I think other people are doing. It's what I believe I've been called to do, and I'm doing it well. So when I have depression, I get discouraged. I have to look for the good and to understand who I am and what I think I've been called to do and gifted to do. The idea that I get to speak to students is that I can still relate to a kindergartner now is amazing to me. Like, I'm pushing 50 and I can still relate with little kids. I think it's a gift.
That is a gift.
And I can relate to their parents. I can speak to adults. I can speak to little kids. I can speak to pre-K, middle school, high school. That's a gift that I have. And if it doesn't bring me millions of dollars, that's fine. So all the things that are going wrong, I have to look for the good. What is the good in this? I mean, so for me, I have to look at that. Like some schools I work with and things didn't go well that day. What happened that was good? What I have a family. I mean, I can make a list of things that are good in my life right now. And one of the things I do when students, sometimes even adults, they say, hey, how you doing? I'm good. How are you doing? They say, I'm good. Why are you good? They go, huh? No, give me a reason. Think of one reason you're good. And it makes them think about something good in their lives. And so for me, that has to be a regular practice to look for the good.
You know, I can kind of relate when you were saying you had your studio apartment and you were sitting in, who knows how long it had been since you talked to somebody, because I was a single parent, only child who went away to college. And so I live alone. I have a dog. You know, when she first left, it was rough, but in knowing that I totally feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, you know, that I was put for, you know, to try and have an impact in children's lives. And I just love that. Yeah.
And for me, again, going back to my foundation in God, the fact that I've trusted Christ as my Savior, that here, listen, life can be tough on earth and it can be so tough, but even if I die, I'm going to heaven. So guess what? While I'm living, I get to live for God. If I die, I get to go be with God. So guess what? Yeah. And even through tough stuff, and I try to say that, like, man, what if I have cancer? Guess what? Every day I have as a breath is a gift. Thanks for joining us for that, like a Q&A time, and we're going to do 2 more episodes like that. And if you got a question, I'd love to hear your question for me. I can answer it or give my perspective on Ask Mr. Brown or the Choose Well Program podcast. You know, if you first time listening to this podcast, we're all about helping schools make better choices or build better cultures, one choice at a time. As overall, we believe that when you make better choices, you live a better life. So choose well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh Yeah. If you don't know about the Oh Yeah thing, check out the podcast. Check out the whole website, that is, thechoosewellprogram.com. Thechoosewellprogram.com to find out more about what we do and about the Choose Well Oh Yeah. And I'd love to come to your area, come to your school to help your school build better cultures one choice at a time. Because when you make better choices, you'll live a better life. So choose well. And once you choose well, check out thechoosewellprogram.com and join us for the next episode of the Choose Well Program podcast. Peace.